Sooner Scoop HD.
And Tanner on the boards, and they didn't get the help they needed. I think it was, if my math is right, two rebounds from your guards. How have you addressed that in the short times you've had since?
I have. We talked about it a lot. It's one of those things where there's a lot of areas of the game I can help him with. You know, help him to make different reads off of ball screens, help him with set up actions, maybe run some plays to get him open, defensively giving him schemes. Rebounding, you got to block out, we got to go get it. You got to block out and got to go get it. And I think what they're doing is I think we only had one or two missed blockouts. They're blocking out, but and they got to release and go get it. My mind goes to that Seinfeld episode. You know, it's not the reservation, it's holding the reservation. You know, it's not the block out, it's the release and go get it. And so it's going to be the same boat against TCU. I watched the game here, the games from last year as well. I've watched their Kansas game, I've watched their West Virginia game, I've watched all these games in the last 48 hours. And you got to go get it against, you know, they really hurt us here on the glass last year. If you look what they did, they really, maybe 17 rebounds or 13, they had a really good number. So we got to do the same thing against West Virginia. We got to block out, and then we got to go release and go get it, and the guards got to rebound down.
Porter, sort of going through this stretch, have you been able to pinpoint areas where you know you guys are getting better?
There were some things, you know, it just seems like sometimes, and it's not that way with just us. There's some games that you're running your offense better, your defense better. I thought the second half defense at Oklahoma State was not good, like I said. And then I thought our defense, we did some really good things against Baylor. I mean, we took them out of a lot of stuff, made them miss a lot of shots. We didn't go get it. You know, so we did a lot of good things against Baylor. I thought we got a handful of high-lows. We got a handful of different things we did offensively. Missed some shots. I mean, when you look at the game, the way the game started, we missed, I think, 5 open threes to start the game. You know, and so we're doing some good things. It's just, you know, that last game became rebounding.
Jesse?
We're kind of to that end, we talked about the rebounding, we talked about free throws in the past, the free throw disparity, because there's not a lot on Saturday. When you kind of are facing disparities in areas like that, free throw rebounding, does it almost feel like pressure to have to be good in a ton of other areas to kind of compensate for being down in those areas?
Well, the free throw thing is the only thing I know how to do in my life is try to control what I can control. So maybe we need to be more aggressive. Maybe we need to go downhill more. And because it's not healthy just for me to just look at the free throw. So how can what can we do better? Maybe we need to be more aggressive. Maybe we need to be, you know, trying to draw more fouls. And so we're talking about that, going downhill. And we posted up a handful of times there, but, you know, just the aggressiveness. But I think we have been. We'll leave it at that. But I don't know, what was the other part of your question?
Or just like, when like you have a free throw disparity, kind of like you guys have had in conference play, or maybe a rebounding outing, does it almost put pressure to have to compensate by playing really well in other areas?
Yeah, the rebounding thing is like, I thought it was one of the reasons why we beat West Virginia.
Yeah.
And that was a one-possession game. You know, if we would have rebounded like we did against West Virginia, who's the same kind of rebounding team as Baylor, we win by, you know, it's just so we did really good job. The thing that also hurt us is certain late game situations, you got to sniff stuff out. You know, you got to just all of a sudden. They ran a little action for Bridges. Like, they haven't run that. They ran the baseline, and they curled and set a screen for Bridges, and Bridges came out the other end. I mean, here you got Flagler, Cryer, George, and then Bridges, you know, they ran it for Bridges. That happens, you know, and it could have been an easy switch, and we didn't. So sometimes late game, you really got to be so in the moment that you recognize some things going on. And, you know, I think we got some guys, we got to be connected on doing that with 5 guys.
Jason?
Miles has been a pretty good player for 3 years now. But once in the Kansas game, they have a lot more than that. They played so well. But you know, Miles is a guy that, he's just grown up in that program, hasn't he?
Yeah. The thing about sometimes when you're young or you're starting off at this level, you feel like you got to score to prove that you can play at this level. He's doing so many other things. You know, he makes such good passes out of ball screens because he's seen all the ball screen coverages. He's seen a double team. He's seen a trap. He's seen an ice. He's seen a switch. And you can just see how he plays at a pace where he's seen it all. He doesn't feel like I got to, you know, he obviously is scoring at a great clip, but he's not. I just think he's letting a lot of it come to him, but he's also making right passes out of different ball screen coverages. That whole team, you know, it's the same starting five as a team that was right there to beat Arizona, go to the Sweet 16. I mean, they're old, they're veteran, they've been through it, they've been in the program, and that's why, you know, I think they're one of many teams in our league that could win this thing, and the whole thing. Then that's, I mean, and old guys that have gotten better, and that have played at that experience for a long time.
Jason?
Where I kind of wanted to ask you about Grant. It's the second game in a row where he's been scoreless in the second half. Did you kind of talk to him ahead of this game just about what adjustments he needs to make?
You know, we've been talking about a lot of things, you know, with that, as I do with all the players. But, you know, he wants to win. He puts a lot of pressure on himself, and he just continue to let him. If the teams are double teaming him, just like I just said before, you know, I thought at the beginning of the game, man, I think he got 10 or 3 wide open threes, and he got, I think, Jacob a wide open 3. He just got to maintain that, and just know there's a million ways you can help your team win. You know, guarding at the end, you know, really playing great defense, getting guys shots. You know, he's been really, really good for us at times, and you know, we're still with him. Just I want to help him. That's my job to help him stay confident, figure things out, navigate, and he's got to navigate. We'll navigate it through it together.
Back to you, Mike. Porter with Lowe's, you talked about how, you know, effectively he's not a freshman anymore, but whether it's minute to minute in a game or game to game, what challenges are inherent for you of managing a guy who is playing minutes unlike a freshman, but is still only 18 games into his college career?
Yeah, because it's a great question because it's a fine line because he's going to make some mistakes, and you got to live with some mistakes. It's why it's so hard to play freshmen right now. Like, you know, we went with Ortega, and he did it. You know, sometimes, and he really came out and made a bunch of good plays right in a row. But even a guy like Benny's starting to do some really good things in practice. But at this level, with these games that are possession by possession, you got to live with some mistakes with some freshmen. You got to live with some mistakes. And how many you live with, it's hard in these one-possession games. And Los, I still got to live with some mistakes. Like, he knows it right away. He gets to the lane and he jump passes, and he sailed one out of bounds. We've seen that same turnover 4 or 5 times the last 5 games. And I got to live with that, but I just got to keep teaching them. When you get to that paint, don't leave your feet until you know where you're going. Play off 2 feet. So it's hard in this high level in a lot of these teams as freshmen to let them live through mistakes because it's possession by possession. Doesn't say you can't have it. Oh, I mean, we've been doing that with Los, and he's shrunk that gap of mistakes so much, and that's what you want. I mean, he really has shrunk that gap of mistakes, and but he's still going to make it. He's still going to make some. Everybody is.
Go ahead.
Yeah, looking back at TCU again, just Big Eddie Lampkin's a big part of what they do. Obviously, his health is kind of up in the air, what his status is. Just how important is it going to be just keeping him under wraps, especially on the glass? And how do you balance that when you don't know if he's going to play or what percentage he'll be at?
You know, that's out of my control. So we talk about him, and if he plays, he plays. I mean, I'm expecting him to play. I know he's had some different things. He's a tough kid. He always seems to play. I thought he was 7 for 7 from here last year against us. Really effective. Kid, he's one of my favorite players in the league because how hard he plays, and he plays with passion, and he's just constantly got a motor. He's got a tremendous motor. I love somebody who's transformed his body. That's not easy, and you see him from, you know, pictures or a video from 3 years ago to now. He's got a motor. So I think Cork off the bench is one of the best defenders switching 1 through 5. I think he's outstanding. They come in with Jacoby Coles, they'll go small. He's a different because he can pick and pop and hit the three. So they got those three guys that they can bring in. They can go small with Coles, and then you got to worry about the pick and pop three. Cork and Lampkin got motors, can switch. Cork can really switch 1 through 5. So we're prepared for all those scenarios. The pick and pop 5, the switching 1 through 5, and then Lampkin just a complete physical presence in the paint.
Sooner Scoop HD.